Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nerd Night, episode 20. Well, it's not 23, it's 33. Oh boy, I've got a tongue twist there. Everyone, great to have you here. If you're watching this from Lagos, Nigeria, or in Accra, Ghana, or in what is it? What's the capital of PNG again? So does anyone know the capital of PNG? Port Moresby. You're watching this from Port Moresby, or you're watching it from Haiti, the US of A, Trump headland, wherever you're watching this from. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's another episode of Nerd Night. You know you can't miss it. It's the best episode of the week. It's the best time you come to unwind, have a good laugh, talk about life stories, talk about politics, talk about hacking, most of all, talk about trends in cybersecurity, in IT and cloud and AI. It's amazing to have everyone here today. So thanks so much for spending your time with us. Looking forward to obviously learning a lot of new things. We have had some internal conversations that are not recorded. And if you're not part of that, that's why you should be present at Nerd Night Live. Well, you see what I did there. So if you don't want to miss out from those really, really good conversations we have before we start recording, make sure you come to the one that's happening next week. We are going to be here, and I've got some really, really exciting updates to share with everyone. But before we do that, I'm just going to do some quick introduction. So my name is Sammy Chucks. I'm the founder and CEO of CyberLynk. CyberLynk is on a mission to train and equip 10 million professionals by the year 2050. So the way we intend to do this is by delivering high quality, excellent, outcome-based training content, mentorship, and support, and access to cheap, affordable certifications for people all over the world. And our focus area is on the untapped regions of the world. So, the forgotten words. No one else cares about these places, and CyberLynk is going to go in there, and we're going to equip people, and we're going to empower people. So thank you so much for being part of that story. You all know when you sign up to our program here in the West, you are helping someone else get access to good quality education and training somewhere else in Africa or in Southeast Asia or or North America or whatever it is. We are in a digital age, and we cannot allow people to miss out on this. So thank you so much for the support. I've got one of our mentors here, Nathan Keno. So Nathan, do you want to do a quick introduction before we jump right in?
SOC analyst, ethical threat actor, malware analyst, the Python guru. Yep,
that's very bold. Cool. All right. Awesome. All right. With
that joke master.
Yeah, that's it. That joke master. Cool. All right.
Yep, that's right.
Now.
I was going to say grandmaster.
Grandmaster. So today I was actually catching up with one of our own that is in here on this call, and we're thinking about what does the future of Nerd Night look like, right? And we had some really good idea. You know yourself, whoever it is, and one of the things we're thinking about is Nerd Night is so awesome that it's not good for us to keep it here internally alone. We need to open Nerd Night up to allow other people to be part of this fun. Like, imagine if we had a live stream and 2,000 people were watching and be part of that conversation. Can you imagine how many lives would have been transformed by that heart-to-heart conversation we just had? All right. So therefore,
you mean by streaming on YouTube or Twitch, something like that?
We are going to start streaming Nerd Night. That's the future of Nerd Night. So Nerd Night is going to be a public event that will happen every single Saturday night, and we've got some really exciting things that is planned. So before the session actually starts, we're going to have our own cyber DJ playing live hits for like 15 minutes before the session starts. So if you come early, you get the plus of listening to the cyber DJ, right? And obviously the way it's going to run is we're going to have a live stream, and then at that live stream we'll be able to answer people's questions using the chat section. And also we're going to have a members only session that runs for an additional 30 minutes after the broader public has sort of left the session. We have another thing that we're going to also try to do as well, because it's a massive live stream. We can't have every single person that's part of CyberLynk on a call like this. So therefore, we're actually going to have a raffle ticket where people can actually win a raffle to be part of Nerd Night Live, to be part of the actual cohort that is actually able to converse and have conversations like we're having right now. So hopefully this is exciting. I'm actually keen to get some feedback with this idea. But the whole point is that as CyberLynk grows and as the Nerd Night segment is growing, We don't want to hold this internally. We want it to be able to scale, and we want to be able to help as many people as possible. So if you have any thoughts or any feedback with regards to any of this, feel free to reach out to support at cyberlynk.io, or you can send me an email directly at semi.chucks@cyberlynk.io. You can also use our Discord server to provide feedback as well. There is a feedback channel in the Discord server, so you can use that to provide feedback. So I am very excited for what the next few months and years mean for CyberLynk. Hopefully, you guys are going to stay around for the rides. Everyone here is going to obviously have a job by then, so it's not an issue. You'll have a job, but I don't think you would leave CyberLynk, right? You guys will still be showing up for those sessions. That's the most important thing, right? Because we have created something that's amazing here. That it doesn't matter whether you have a job or not, you will still be part of this session every Saturday, right? Because you're going to be awake anyways. Guys, Abdallah, wouldn't you rather be part of Nerd Night on a Saturday night than be watching Netflix? Where else would you rather be, mate? You're mute.
Yeah. Nerd Night.
Nerd Night, that's
sure.
it. Yes, that's awesome, mate. I was going to mute you and kick you out of the session if you didn't say that.
And also with the steakhouse as well.
Oh, yeah,
Steak.
we are going to have a steakhouse. We would actually have a physical location where people can actually come and cook steak, and we might record that session. Why not? There's a lot of fun things that are going to be happening with CyberLynk. So everyone, hope you stay tuned and hope you're part of this journey. Do not give up on us yet. The one thing that I can promise you guys, every single person here and those watching this letter, is that we would never give up on your outcome. That outcome that you want, we would never give up. We would continue to work hard until we deliver on that outcome. But we want you to be part of that journey. Don't give in. Don't give up. Study at night, study during the day, study when you're walking, when you're sleeping. If you get in your car, put on audiobooks, whatever it is, utilize every single opportunity you have. This is an amazing time to be alive, right? Technology is driving and changing the way things are done. And I want every single person in here to be at the forefront or the bleeding edge of it, right? And the one way to do that is by getting into cybersecurity. So everyone continue to fight to get into tech, to get into cybersecurity. It's the way to go. But with all of that said, and that quick, really amazing, hopefully, introduction, I would like to take us to the next amazing segment, which is the threat landscape segment. I always get stuck when I want to say threat landscape. But here we are. I've actually got something amazing. For the first time, we are actually going to have one of you guys be part of the segment. So we have Gispa, who's going to be actually running the threat landscape session with us. So he's got an article that he's volunteered this week that he would like to present. So Gispa, obviously, I'm going to start. So Gispa is going to be delivering the DNS Fast Flux vulnerability, and I'll be delivering the first one. And then if we have some time, it's interesting. I wanted to put this in here because of the conversation we had last week when Oracle was refusing to agree that they've been hacked. Surprise, surprise. It was only a matter of time. They're still denying that it happened recently. They're saying, "Oh, that was a long time ago that we got hacked, and it wasn't even on the real live data. It was some old customer data that we had." Interesting one. But anyways, on the first one on the list here, which I think everyone here is already aware of this, before I hand over to Gispa, guys, please be kind to Gispa. Do not shut him down. But feel free to interrupt and say hi as you see fit and cheer him on for his first session. So, Gispa, are you ready for this, mate?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, born ready. That's it, mate. That's it. That's awesome. That's the spirit. Yeah, I'm gonna start threatening people if they don't answer things the way I want them to answer it. I'll kick them out of the call. I have the power. It's like Thanos, the Thanos thumb. Just like that, you're gone. All right, the first one on the list, the Australian superannuation cyber attack, overdue, inevitable. Come on, news.com.au. Go away. Overdue, inevitable. Experts say after all these funds targeted. So this one, without having to give you guys a wall of text, I'm sure everyone has heard of it. So just this week, actually about yesterday, a group of highly targeted, highly coordinated threat actors were able to gain access to accounts of fund the members of some of the most popular Australian super funds. So one of them being Australian Super, and there's a few other ones as well there. Some of them have some weird names, but one of them is Insignia Financial, which is another fun organization as well. So if you're not in Australia and if you don't know what this is, so a super fund is actually a fund or a financial organization that is responsible for managing workers' retirement fund. So threat actors were actually able to breach into users' accounts. Now, the key thing to note here is that the threat actors did not actually hack the super funds themselves, but they were able to hack the members' accounts. So in cases or situations where members did not have multi-factor authentication, threat actors were able to essentially do what is called credential stumping or harvestation, where they basically were able to buy those credentials from the dark web and use it to get access to the members' accounts. And the reason this is very, very highly targeted and coordinated is that they all kind of happen at the same time to overwhelm the system and not let the system react to the and implement security in time. So the information that we're getting is that the threat actor was actually only able to take away about 500,000 Australian dollars, but a lot of people obviously, understandably, are panicking and not actually sure how to deal with this. But the key thing here is that particular attack that they used. If you have MFA enabled in your environment, you should be able to avoid that attack, because if a threat actor has access to your password, of course, we know that MFA is not a be all and end all, right? Threat actors can still bypass that using an attack method called MFA fatigue. So if you have MFA, it should help with preventing that attack. But I see someone's hand. Steven, go for it, mate. Unmute yourself.
Yep. Just as you said that the login credential was storing that possibly the password. But I thought the standard for most organizations is to hash the password. And when it comes to hashing, we all know that hashes are not reversible. One. So how did they steal when you talk about, I believe you can't just go to the database and steal password. I know you could get some, maybe do some you could get some password list or dictionary or stuff like that.
Yep.
But I believe the standard for most password, because you need to get the username and the password, and in most cases, standard of storing of password needs to be hash, and sometimes it needs to be sorted as well.
Yes.
So how did they do that?
Yeah, that is actually a really good question. And yes, in most cases, passwords are hashed, and in most cases they're also encrypted as well, right? So you cannot just go and open the password file. It's usually encrypted and passworded. So in this case, the really critical thing or really critical information here is that the super phones themselves were not hacked. It's the users that were hacked. So an example is if you use your Google Chrome as your password manager, I can see faces. They're all shrinking, going, oh. If you use your browser as your password manager, well, threat actors have found a way to actually download your prefetch file, and they can steal all of your password and your username from your browser. So you've got to also remember this as well, that the people that were targeted with this attack are the aged. I don't know if you guys know that in Australia you cannot actually withdraw your super until you're above retirement age. So you and I were never going to be able to do it. Like, they wouldn't have attacked us. So they intentionally, which is why I'm saying that this is a targeted attack. They actually waited. They had access to this account for so long. Obviously, this is a developing story in general, but they had access to this account in so long. Probably from, guess where? Can anyone guess where they got access to this account? Medibank and Optus hack. Again, I'm not saying that it happened, but I'm saying it could have been allegedly, right? So, and these people, the aged are the people who use Medibank. They're the ones who use health insurance. They're the ones who are able to to afford Optus exorbitant costs. So therefore, these passwords were stolen somehow. And because they reused their password and they don't have multi-factor authentication enabled, threat actors were then able to get in. Stephen, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, sure it did.
Cool. All right, I'm going to open this up because we don't have a lot of time. So that I can hand it over to Gispa Abu. Does anyone have anything to add to this? Did anyone read something different that I haven't covered here? But I certainly want to pay attention to. I expect everyone to go and learn what credential harvesting is, credential stumping is, understand the scenarios where threat actors use that. And this is the stuff that if you're in an interview, when someone asks you, hey, what happens when a user's credential is stolen? You should be able to speak to that because we've done it in NerdKnight. So don't just listen to this and end it. Go and do your own research. Go and find out more about this. So with that, I'm opening it up for people to comment. Did anyone, here's the question, did anyone's family member or relative account got hacked or get hacked? Well, that's good. Good news. Good news. Does anyone have anything to add here?
No, I
Yeah.
haven't checked mine yet. But I don't have much money there anyway.
Yeah, like it's like when someone tries to hack you, you've got like $5 in there. You're like, yeah, no worries, I can give you my PIN. Yeah, it is.
I have checked mine and all okay.
All right, cool. That's good. I'm glad everyone's account is protected. Obviously, if you haven't already enabled MFA on your super, go ahead and do that, and make sure that your account is protected. Abdullah, go.
No, I just wanted to point out, Andre sent something that explains how the money is held in the Australian super.
Oh yeah,
It's in the chat session for.
Yeah, I did see
Steven.
that. Yeah, I saw that from Steven. Yeah, that is a really good explanation. And the key thing, and I don't actually realize a lot of people did not know this, that you're not actually allowed to withdraw your super until you retire. So in which case, this cannot affect people like us. All right. Alex, if you think you're owed, one way to know if you're owed or not is if you can withdraw your super. Apparently you cannot, mate. So you're still young.
Well, there's different things. There's some things you can do at 70. You can travel at 70, obviously, and 50, but you can't create a family or, I don't know, start a new job, your whole career. I'm not starting a new job, but starting a whole career at 70. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, let's leave it there. All right. With that, I would like to, I guess because we don't have a lot of time, I would like to bring Gispa in here. Everyone, can we please give it up for Gispa? This is his first time actually doing this. So, Gispa, over to you, mate. Feel free to share your screen if you want to, or I can share on your behalf.
Awesome. I'll share in a moment. But
Yep.
thanks, Sammy.
No worries.
Sweet. All right. Let's get into it. Here we go again. Just when we thought we blocked all of the command and control server IPs and phishing site IP addresses, those pesky hackers. And I'm looking at you, Andre. I'm pretty sure you're doing all the red teaming stuff. Just kidding. Y'all are hitting us again with something new. Instead of a C2 or phishing site having one IP address, which we can block easily, right? Imagine them using thousands of IPs or even hundreds of thousands. And on top of that, imagine this has been around since at least 2007. And the ASD probably only just now decided to label it as a national security threat because it's gone from the hands of a bunch of skids to an APT or something. So it kind of sounds like a nightmare, right? But for us, it's a good learning opportunity. Let's get into talking about Fast Flux. I'll share my screen here. Oh no, you've got it up there.
Yeah,
if you scroll down to the first image.
Yeah, sure.
Huge. So what Fast Flux is it's attackers exploiting a load balancing technique called round robin DNS. And the way that's normally used is, a site like Amazon, for example, they're having a sale and they want to make sure that their servers don't crash because too many people are accessing their servers, so they'll have redundant servers. And what round robin DNS would do is it would, as a customer goes to Amazon.com, it would give them the IP address of one server, then the next customer would get a different server, so it's spreading the load out. And what attackers are doing is they will have like a botnet, so a bunch of compromised machines that they control, and they will set it up so that the malicious domain of like their command and control or like their phishing websites, they will set it up so that the DNS address, the IP address is getting switched out every 5 minutes or so, sometimes even less, like sometimes it's every few seconds. They give it a really short time to live, and every few seconds, the IP address changes.
Major cyber attack and some members.
So it's really hard to track. It keeps things obfuscated, and it makes sure that like they're keeping their phishing websites with like high availability and the command and control with high availability. And then on top of that, if you scroll down to the next image, they've also got something that's single flux. They've also got double flux, which is where not only are they switching out the IP address, but they're switching out the authoritative name server that issues the IP address when those domain requests come through. So it's like if you were to imagine a bank robber stealing money from a bank and they get into a getaway car, police can just put out the license plate and pull over anyone with that license plate. But these guys have got a trunk full of license plates and they're switching them out every 5 minutes. And that's single flux. And then double flux, not only are they switching out the license plates every 5 minutes, but they're changing cars every 5 minutes as well.
That's really good.
So it's really hard to track. There are a couple of detection techniques, which are, monitoring threat intel feeds and like reputation services to see if there are any known fast flux domains and associated IP addresses, and then blocking those in your boundary firewalls and DNS resolvers. There's time to live, like checking the time to live values that are in the DNS records. So fast flux is often very low, like between 3 and 5 minutes. There's inconsistent IP geolocation info in DNS resolution. So if you've got people in your organization and they are going to VS Code, cool vscodelinks.com, and every time they get an IP address, it's in a different geolocation, you can set up an alert that's like, okay, that's probably fast flux because it's different compromised devices in that botnet. And as far as mitigations go, it's again a little hard to mitigate, but because this round robin DNS is something that is actually used by legitimate services. So one way is to make sure you have like an allow list set up. So when you're expecting legitimate services to use content delivery network behaviors like load balancing, you can make sure that those are allowed, but any unexpected ones are blocked. And require your organizations to like use DNS servers that you actually control, and then sinkhole or like discard any queries that go to malicious domains. And one of the last interesting ones that I'll add on here is, again, IP blocking isn't really enough for this. So you want to make sure that you are communicating with the security community and getting data for like what domains are malicious and actually blocking either the domains directly in DNS rather than just the IPs. But yeah, that's my brief overview of it. There are a couple more, but I'll leave it there for now.
No, that's awesome, man. That was awesome. that actually is a lot better than mine. So good on you, guys. Who's gonna vote that we just let Gisbert do this going forward? Oh, poor Sammy. But that was awesome, mate. And this one is definitely one that is really good. I love the analogy of the bank robber switching plate numbers and then switching cars, right? And this is definitely
Cloudflare gave me that one. I will admit that was Cloudflare.
all right. Give honor to where honor is due. That's it. I love it. And I think the really interesting thing here is the fact that you can just block your way out of this, right? Like, I worked in a lot of organizations where the knee-jerk reaction is basically, oh yeah, we've got a bad IP, we'll add it to the list. Without any proper, I guess, defense mechanism in place. All right, you should be using, full packet inspection firewalls that are actually looking at what the actual content of the packet is. So if there's someone communicating with two servers, you shouldn't just rely on the IP address, right? Because IP addresses are very unreliable. But I've actually got a question. Does anyone know? This talked about having a threat intelligence feed to use. Does anyone know a good threat intelligence feed that potentially can be used for knowing whether a domain or an IP is malicious?
I have one, but I'm just trying to find the bookmark that I have. I can't remember what it's called.
That's good. It's an interview. It's mock interview session time.
Oh, there's the level blue is an open threat exchange.
Yep.
That's the one I know.
Okay, that's good. Does anyone know anyone? I can see people trying to Google it or ask ChatGPT real quick. ChatGPT, give me a threat intelligence platform real quick.
That's the level blue one in the chat.
Yeah, cool. So one of them, threat intelligence, again, this is actually part of CCSA Unit 1. If you go to CCSA Unit 1, threat intelligence is part of it. So you would learn that there are multiple types of threat intelligence. There's operational intelligence, tactical intelligence, and a whole bunch of them that is in there. And you would learn that there are different types of threat intelligence platforms. There is the commercial ones and the open source ones. So one of the most well-known open source threat intelligence platform is called MISP. MISP stands for Malware Information Sharing Platform. So you can actually connect two MISP servers together so they can exchange information. And there would actually be a lab. I think we should actually build a lab on creating MISP from scratch. That would be awesome. You can also use paid threat intelligence platforms like Recorded Future, Flashpoint. By the way, Recorded Future just got bought for, I think it was $3 billion by MasterCard just recently. I think we shared that message on at NerdKnight when it happened. But yeah, there are other ones as well. But the key thing here is to know that ability to share intelligence is really important. And as you guys actually grow and learn and get better in the cybersecurity industry, I encourage you all to contribute to threat intelligence platforms by as you start to do malware analysis or reverse engineering or security engineering, you're going to come across something called derived intelligence, where you're actually the one going, I see this IP address in an analysis that I've done. You then take that IP address and add it into something like VirusTotal. That is essentially how all that information we see on VirusTotal is created. Someone else is actually adding that in there. So I don't want everyone here to just be consuming. You can actually contribute. But yeah, Alex, go for it, mate.
Just as a suggestion, maybe we can have a session for NerdKnight to actually dive into like a threat intelligence platform or something to understand how it properly works, how to properly read the information, and just something like that. So basically, because I think for some, not everyone, but maybe some of us, it's a little bit maybe overwhelming, or it's like a lot of information, and just how to use it properly for like even for a future job or anything, or just for us to be updated on stuff. So I don't know. What do you think, Sammy? But
yeah, that sounds like a really good idea.
I agree with Alex.
Maybe not on NerdKnight, but because again, I'm trying to make NerdKnight. We are working to make NerdKnight open to the public, but why not? We can actually build a MISP on NerdKnight. We'll just keep one lab day when we're doing. Stephen, you go.
I
Sorry.
agree with Alex on that. I think we should also take it further because most of it is more about you studying, but in the actual world itself is more of, I think maybe we should just create like a scenario, like an office base, like this is what's happening, you understand, and try to build out, you understand, it's good that we could have the theoretical knowledge about it, but implementing it is a different ball game itself. Maybe we could just create a scenario that, this is maybe your first day at work and you got this kind of scenario. You understand? We just build up like a story like that. I don't know if that's also.
Yeah, that's good. That is really good feedback.
Yeah. Because what I was saying, Sammy, is because, for example, maybe it's me only, but because there's another platform where they have like a room dedicated to MISP, but the thing is, you do that room, but you don't really properly understand MISP.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit overwhelming. So it's not overwhelming; it's confusing because it's not like a news feed or something. It has a lot of components that are just. It's not just doing a room. You need to actually have someone live or something, some way, just showing where with what. So you go to a platform like intelligence sharing platform, and what do you do next? So you open it up. What do you do next? What happens next? Where do you watch? What do you look at? What's some different tips and tricks and everything. So yeah, that would be nice. And I think it would be interesting for people live as well to actually go through that, even like a 5-minute sort of dedicated window, not too much, but at least like,
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a really good idea. We discussed that with our team internally. We might actually do that, next week. Why not? I've just got a meme. in the memes channel. If anyone is on Discord, go have a good laugh. That's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, I just saw that on LinkedIn as well.
I'm like, okay, Dixie just keep giving today. All right, fair enough. In case anyone is wondering what are we talking about, this is the meme. Let's see if we can put it on what is it? On the live session chat, and then pop it open for people to see. So this is the meme. Hackers need few seconds to hackers. Meanwhile, hackers waiting for their Nmap scan to finish. And this is real. Like this is literally real meme. If you've ever used Nmap, you can literally wait 2 hours. And sometimes when you're waiting for an Nmap scan to finish, you begin to question your life. Am I even in the right box? Am I even scanning the right thing? Did I put the right information in there? That is real pain right there. So that hits home right home. But look, thanks so much, Gispa, for sharing that. That was a really thought-provoking one. I've already shared how Oracle is now telling its clients that perhaps maybe they might have been hacked, but definitely not recently. It might actually be that this data was stolen at some point, but it's definitely not real data. It's some backup, old stale data that's not useful anymore. So nothing to see here. Just move on. Meanwhile, organizations and customers and partners globally are suffering from massive cyber attacks as a result of the data that was stolen from Oracle. Note to self: never build a business that reacts to a cyber attack like this, like Oracle did. They are definitely going to start, losing business from me if I'm already paying them for anything. Cool. Alrighty. So thanks so much everyone for being part of Threat Landscape for today. Obviously, I want to give everyone the opportunity to switch off for tonight and go get some rest. Or that was a trick. I don't know if you guys got it. Or you can actually go back and get some study done. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to attempt to do the lab for today. But you don't have to stay on this session and continue listening to my voice, my nice soothing voice. But we are going to be solving a box on BTLO as usual. Obviously, CyberLynk, we're actually building our own lab challenge platform like this. Once that is done, we will no longer have to promote a different platform here. It's CyberLynk all the way, guys. Whenever you think of it, think of CyberLynk. No more THM, HDB, all the other platforms. It's CyberLynk. That's all you should know and care about, right? It's like your first love. You know that feeling where if you leave your barber, you just like you basically break the barber's heart. That's how it is, and we are going to be here to support you guys, obviously, all through the journey. Um, so, yeah, quick one. Does anyone want to stay around whilst we solve this, or are people happy to jump off and do it on their own? I will be expecting.
I would hang around.
Yep. I will obviously be expecting that people post this on LinkedIn by the start of the week that you've solved it. I want to see that post. That personal branding is really important, right? I want to see the consistency. I want to see the effort.
I'll stick around, but I've already done this, so I'll do something else.
Yeah, why not? There are other ones in there that are, I figured I'll pick something easy so we don't spend too much time today, but we ended up spending way too much time anyways. Having fun. That's what NerdKnight. That's why I love NerdKnight. It's just making sure that no one is listening. My wife is not listening. It's my favorite part of the day on Saturday night. No one should tell on me. But anyways, thanks so much everyone for being part of this. This was really amazing. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start investigating. Oh, I should have started this. It always gets me. It needs 4 minutes to load. Jeez. Oh, well, there you go. 2 minutes here. All right.
Sammy, in here it actually says so recommend using G numeric to open CSV files, or use Linux CLI commands from within the exports folder. So do we need like a Linux box working in the background or something?
No, this is an investigation box, so it should give us a virtual machine.
Interesting. Good. Because yeah, it was saying it's in the blue box over there. It says that. So Andre, I don't know
Oh,
if
right. Yeah,
Andre
yeah.
is
I
still
get
here.
what he's saying. Yep.
Because
Oh,
I
he's
would
still.
I want to ask Andre, would we need a Linux machine up now or not, just to
I don't
understand? So
remember
Yeah,
needing one. I
I
think
think
that's
it's
all you
actually
need.
okay,
a Linux box that it's opening. I
You
think
only
okay,
that's
need
the
fair
what
only
they
enough.
give
Linux,
you.
but yeah.
Okay. By the way, Sammy, because I was doing BTL, so
Yeah,
the
it's
free one
Linux
actually
box.
doesn't allow you to extend an hour. So it says extend 1 hour
But no.
after
Yeah,
15
you have.
minutes left, but it actually
That's it.
doesn't allow you. It says, oh, you need to have the paid version. So
Yes.
just as
Just
a
give
yeah.
me a call and I'll send you an invoice. Sorry, Andre, I'm still waiting for more people to put their hand up before I. Alex is like, yes, another time someone's gonna. There's something else I have to pay for. But anyway, so why not? Why don't we just use CLI? All right. Tell me, guys, if you can see what oh, come on. Not working. Okay. Interesting. Anyone remember the shortcut to increase this so it's a bit more visible? Zoom out, zoom in. There you go. View. It's Control plus plus. Yeah, I did that. Why did it not work?
Mac it.
Are you doing
Oh,
Control Shift plus?
no. I'm doing Control plus plus.
I think if you do Control Shift plus, that'll work.
Well, let's actually click out of that. Well, there you go. Interesting. Interesting. All right, now I think now it might actually be too big, so we'll just zoom out a little bit. All right, cool, perfect. Can you guys see that
Personally, for
fine?
me, it was all right, but because I just have a second screen, that's why a bigger screen. Maybe that's why it's better
Yeah,
for me. So I
and
don't know
by the
how
way,
it's for everyone else.
yeah, by the way, you guys should be doing this anyway, so on your own. I'll just close this up so we can save some RAM. Buy a RAM. We're gonna make a shirt that says buy a RAM.
And I've reinstalled Windows, and now I only at 20% use of RAM, whereas previously it was always around 90.
So there's some you reckon it's Windows doing this to me?
I don't know. I had a lot of VMs and
Or
Ubuntu
maybe
servers playing around, and maybe they were all on, and I forgot about them.
or maybe someone is crypto mining on my laptop. Hmm.
Oh, what crypto is worth mining with a laptop?
Yeah, I'm not even against it. Just give me some. That's all I want. Like if you're gonna use my electricity on my laptop, at least just be kind enough to share with me. Anyways, let's get started. So the SOC recently observed network connection from 3 internal hosts towards HTTP, obviously defanged. And by the way, if anyone is not aware of this, so this is called defanging an indicator. So whenever you see the XX and someone has an open and closed braces on an IP address, that is called defang. So you're defanging it so that someone don't unintentionally click on it. So the
I
word is
always think about a weak vampire who got defanged.
yeah, that's exactly what it sounded. That's it.
No more dangerous.
Never dangerous because it's got nothing to suck the blood with. That's exactly it. So to actually do this, you can define a URL obviously manually,
Membership.
but one way you can do it is with CyberChef. So you can go to CyberChef and define it. So just paste the HTTP thing there, and then just look for defang as one of the operations there, and you should be able to do it. Okay, so what is this activity likely related to? So obviously in this case, we can see .give. So let's actually figure out what we are supposed to be doing and if the file we're looking for is on this computer. So we have Linux CLI, Gomeric, text editor, OSINT, BTL, whatever, BTL1. So what's one of the boxes that is relevant to BTL1? All right, let's actually look at this box and see what we can see here. What do we have? So we have desktop, music, pictures. So let's check each one of these and see if we can find anything useful in there.
By the way, kudos to the ones who set up this box. That they actually have green on black, which looks cooler than the usual other ones.
Oh, there we go. So we've got some good information here. So recent additions.csv, SHA-256, hashes.csv, and we have full IP port to port.csv, and we have a bunch of other things there. So whenever you're looking at a file like this, the first thing you want to do is you kind of want to run a head command on it. The head command kind of tells you what is within the file. You can also do a file command on the file itself to see if it is truly a CSV. The reason this is important is malware can oftentimes actually tell you that it's a CSV, but it's not actually a CSV. Right? So what we're looking for is the MIME type. I don't know if anyone has heard of what the word MIME type is. So you want to know if the MIME type is indeed CSV. And often the one way to find out a MIME type is to look at the first 4 bytes of a file. It tells you the type of type of file it is. But what threat actors can actually do is to change those first 4 bytes. So you can make a PHP file appear as though it's a text an image. I'm going too technical here and too advanced. But so what we should do is to first of all run a file command on one of these. By the way, does anyone know why these have a single quote at the end of it, at the end of each side? Alex, you go.
What was that, sorry?
Why is there a single quote in this file name?
Good question. So which file do you mean? Recent additions.csv?
Yeah, and then SHA-256.csv.
Good question, because I couldn't understand why ThreadFox exports has a single quote as well. So
Yeah.
to be honest, I don't know why.
That's good. Does anyone know?
No, no from mine. No idea.
No idea.
Yeah, Gispa, you go.
It's because they have spaces in the name, and spaces, and like you need to say the whole string.
Yeah.
Otherwise, space would separate different files in Linux.
That is correct. So that's because of the way the Linux file system is structured. All right. So the same thing. This is essentially the same thing that exists in Windows, and this is essentially one of the ways that threat actors use to perform privilege escalation on a vulnerability called uncoded path. So the way Linux file path works, well, let's actually Google this so it makes sense and you guys really understand it, because I don't want this to be something you ever fail in an interview or in life ever again. Whenever you see that, you should tell yourself that this is what it is, and that you understand it. So, what is my Linux file name with single whatever? If I can type, quote. So this doesn't actually tell me anything. That's useless. Super user. Let's see if super user knows. Come on. Yep. So let's see what people answer to go by. And necessary only. So ls wraps single quotes around file names with spaces in them for the purpose of allowing the file name to be safely copied, used in a script or piped through another command. So this was highly unpopular feature introduced to version 8.2 of the GNU core util package as recently as 2016 by a consensus of just 3 developers. That's interesting. Again, if you don't do this research, if you don't ask questions, you won't learn about this. Right? Argument cited by critics of the change included that it makes the output of ls look considerably more unsightly. People are funny; they care about things. Unnecessarily diverges from nearly half a century of Unix tradition, and due to the way it was implemented, opts out, opt out instead of opt-in, breaks compatibility with long-standing existing scripts and utilities. Because the feature was introduced to the core util package, which virtually every Linux distribution depends on, which LS is part of. The change affects every single Linux and Linux-alike systems imaginable, for Arch Linux to Cygwin. In the case of Debian, yeah, whatever, I don't care. So why did they do it? Don't tell me it's just because of, I guess they did say that here. So it was introduced. So that's probably the information we're looking for the purpose of allowing file names to be safely copied, used in a script, or piped through another command. So that's why there's a single quote encapsulating it. But obviously,
You would
because
get an error before, or
no,
it
so
wasn't
yeah,
usable.
it'll basically tell you that the file does not exist. So an example is, if I go back to that and I try to say, cat, whatever, cat SHA-256, yada yada. So you see what it's done? It's put a backward slash before the white space. Does anyone remember what a backward slash before a white space does in regex? Well, assuming you've done the regex training on the League Academy. Well, we don't have a lot of time. It escapes the white space. So it's basically saying ignore that white space there. So if we get rid of that, it is going to treat this
Error.
SHA-256 as an actual directory. All right, and then if we try to run this, see, no such file or directory, no such file or directory. So it's trying to go, hey, where is this file? So it's treating them as separate files. Does anyone have any questions? So all right, again, let's stay focused to the game of the day. So I'll clear that just for the sake of it. Oh, I always do this whenever I'm solving a CTF, which is run the history command, just because I want to see what other people did on the box, and it's one way to know if you're resharing the same data with other people. Well, no, you're not. So yeah, it's got no long history. So let's clear that again, and do an ls command. What just happened? What? I have no idea. I definitely think someone is crypto mining on my laptop. It's not funny. Like it does something weird every now and again, but at the same time, I also downloaded a lot of malware on it, so I don't know what's going on here. All right. Okay. So let's see. So like I was saying before, you can actually run file and then pipe that to the against the file that you're trying to look at to see if it is indeed a CSV file. So you can see here that this file is an ASCII text with very long lines with CRFS line terminators and yada 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 yada. But you can tell you that what is in here is just text, right? So that's what we want to see. We don't want to see that this is a code, type. So that's one way to validate something like this. You can also do so to ensure that this file doesn't fill up your whole screen. So if we run a cat command on this, sorry, foo, my bad. If we run a cat command on this, this might fill up our whole UI, and we will not be able to do anything with it. So the smart thing to do, rather than running a cat command on it, is to actually run a head command. And then if you run a head command, you can actually specify how many lines you want to see with the attack n. So in this case, I want to see the first 10 lines at the top, and then you give it the file name. So this allows me to review this file without necessarily filling my whole screen with a lot of junk, right? So and then that lets me actually see what sort of information is in here. So we can see that this is obviously a CSV file. So these are the column headers. You can see that IOC ID, IOC value, IOC type, IOC threat type, FK malware, yada 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 yada, and other things as well. All right. So the key thing here is that This is going to be a bit annoying to sort of work with in the command line. So let's go back and look at what is suggested. So it's saying to use generic to open CSV. So in my brain, because I don't know how to do that, what I'll do is I'll Google that. How do you use generic to open CSV? All right. All right. So it seems that it might actually be an application that is in here. So let's see. Do we have an application? Called run program. And yeah, there you go. So there's one. So just launch it. Cool. So there's a natural program that is in here. So one way to do this, without having to. So the reason I'm kind of showing you guys this, the hard way rather than doing the easy way, which is just ClickOps. I don't want you to learn ClickOps. So what I can do here, rather than going to look for what application that is, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here or not. Let's see if I can pull it up a little bit more. There you go. So rather than just going to go open that application and go, well, open file and then go find the file, I can actually just do generic here. And then give it the file name you want to open. Underscore URL, and then that will pop that open for you. So that's one way to open a file. So there you go. Beautiful. Nice. Now, if you notice, I want to show you guys a trick. Again, I'm deviating from what we're supposed to be doing, but this is learning. If you notice, it's kind of taking my terminal. So I can't run any command here. It won't work because it's actively opening this file within this shell. So one way to solve this problem is to actually send it to the background. Yep, you can do Control Z and then put do FG, right? So you can do that, or you can actually quite simply kill it, right? You can kill it and then run that command again with this at the end of it. Sorry, there was hang on. Is it that? Yeah, that is it.
Because
So
one of the biggest mistakes I ever did was actually instead of doing Control C, I did Control Z, and I thought, I killed it off. But actually, when I found out that it goes into the background, I'm like, okay, yeah. I did it wrong.
Yeah, that's fine. So again, you guys are learning, so you can use the and sign to actually send something to the background, and then that gives you the ability to still retain your terminal to work with. All right. So anyways, so I'll go back into this so we can actually solve this problem. So it's saying there is a file with this IP address and yada 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 has been sanitized. What is the activity likely related to? So I'm not quite sure how to solve this, but what I will do first of all is I want to find where that file exists, right? So I've opened that. So what I'll do is I'll do a search for that name, either the IP address or the file name. So dot gif. So let's look for dot gif. I'm pretty sure you can use regex in here. Yeah, look at that. Guys, remember I told you that regex is everywhere? So look at that. We can use regex for this, right? So now that I've selected regex, I can actually come in here and put a star in here. Does anyone remember what a star is used for in regex?
Means everything.
Yeah, 0 but more times, right? So it means that it doesn't matter what is before, it'll match every single thing, right? So let's do that. So invalid search patterns, interesting. Why? Well, it should work.
Maybe the IP address?
No. We don't necessarily need to look for the IP address. We just need to look for a file name. Oh yeah, so there you go. We've got some files, so we've got some result, some hit. Right. So it's saying what is it related to? Interesting. That question sounds a bit ambiguous for me, but we can probably just do a quick. If we can find the one with the right IP address, there's nothing stopping us from just doing a quick what is it? We can probably just check VirusTotal for this information.
I'm not getting any results in matches. Gave me the same error.
So get rid of the regex. So even though I enabled regex, it wasn't accepting it. So so that's what I would say. So get rid of the regex. It's not letting me click. This application is definitely the best. But what I have here is that I know what cell it's sitting in now. So this is cell 23. So I can probably close this and go straight to cell 23. So here, there we go. So it's highlighted that for us, and we can see where that file exists in. Now I can copy this from here. All right. Obviously, I'm not sure if this lab has access to the internet, but I doubt it. So we can probably just look at Malware Bazaar or something. All right. Okay. What on earth am I supposed to be doing here? Press and hold and drag the element. Jeez. Oh boy, this is next level capture.
Sammy, in the H column of the CSV file, it shows Cobalt Strike. Is that what it's?
Hang on. Yeah, so but that's the source of the source of it though. So like that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to name of malware too. Oh right, yeah, name of malware. Yeah, it'll be Cobalt Strike. So that's correct. Because again, I'm still learning how these people ask questions, to be honest. But in this case, we can search for this. We can't find anything useful. But can we actually? Does anyone know what Cobalt Strike is?
C2 framework.
Can you say that properly, Alex? Because everyone can hear you.
A commercial C2 framework.
Yep. Cool. All right. Details. So let's see if we can find that some information by going to VirusTotal.
C2 stands for command and control.
Yep, that's good. Thank you, sir. So alphamountain.ai. Okay. So Justice from Justice Sandbox, Justice Security, and doesn't have anything information here. So I'm trying to figure out if I can find this same information by going somewhere else. Right. So it doesn't seem like it. So I guess we are stuck. But I guess probably leave just the IP address without that file extension. Guys, don't wait for me. Do your own thing. I'm just trying to show you guys how you can actually learn by doing something like this without necessarily being too focused on solving a box, but actually doing something so you can learn in general. So in relations, can we find anything useful here? So lagerbet.com, some weird IP addresses and domain names. So that's interesting. So it's been seen downloading foxroom.docs. So guess what, guys? That is what this is called. So someone has uploaded it to VirusTotal. So you can see that, and we can open that file, and then Foxroom is clean, but in relation to what? Header HTML. This is interesting. Yeah, no. Interesting. Nothing super urgent here. But anyways, I think this will probably be cupboard strike. Is it one word or two words?
The 2 words.
And there's no L here. Well, there we go. How many URLs are using the same endpoint.dov? So we can probably, again, the same. We kind of solved this already when we did the Control F on this. So we'll do that again. Control F, and then this time we're looking for that again. So dot GIF. So that's one way to find this. It's taking its time. It's taking its time. And there we have it. So does it give us a count of how many? Surely.
I don't think so. It's going to be a lot.
Oh boy. It should have given us a count of whatever.
Is there a way? Should be a command in Linux or something, right? To count some lines.
Yeah, we can use a command in Linux to count line. So find. Let's point it to that file. Dot. And then the type. We want a file, and then the file is full URLs, and
Isn't it dot? Yeah.
was it give? Yeah.
Give, yeah.
And then file name. We define the file name, and now we need to send errors to input output. So I always forget which one, but I think it's to this, to dev /no / sorry. No, this is Linux. It should be /. I'm getting rusty. Am I? No, didn't find anything. It's interesting. It's probably seeing this as a file. So let me actually make it in there. No, nothing came out of it. All right. So this is why I always tell you guys to learn. So I would say how to find and count the occurrence of text in a file, in a CSV file in Linux CLI.
So what's CSV file in the first place?
Right. Why am I not using grep? So there you go. I don't know why I forgot that. So grep for
grep, yeah.
yeah. Dot give from URL foo underscore URL, so CSV. Because we don't want this to be case sensitive, let's do case insensitive and dot. Yikes! All right. So we do a what's the command for line count again? I think it's an NC.
I think it's WC.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Word count? That's it. That's it.
WC tac L.
Tac
The
L.
line.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And then, so in this case, we see 564. Am I getting rusty with my Linux? That's wrong. That's interesting. Oh, it wouldn't work because I think it's asking for the unique times. So how many URLs are using the same endpoint across all expected files, right? Well, it's worthwhile reading this properly, I guess. So in this case, I would say everything, the CSV, and then pipe it to word count. Hmm. 568. Does that work? There you go. That worked. Did you guys see how I did that?
Nope.
So
all CSV files.
yeah. So again, regex again, right? So I'm looking for every single file that ends with the CSV at the end of it. And then I'm making it case insensitive. So I'm basically saying I don't care whether it's capital letter or small letter. The reason this is important is like some CTF you're trying to solve, they will intentionally make it all capital letter, and then you're gonna miss that. So by making it case insensitive, you're able to get that information out. So that's one way to solve that. And the second question is, the SHA-256 hash of a file was detected and quarantined on one of the executive's old Android phone. We are trying to work out what this file does so we can take next steps. The hash value is this. Is this file associated with malware? If so, what is the malware name? All right, so this one is an open source one, but for the sake of it, I don't want to just take the word for it and take it from the website. So let's actually cut the or close this. We don't have a lot of space. Discard. And then do a generic. Can someone do a research and find out if generic is installed by default on all Linux hosts? Well, Ubuntu mostly. Just say Ubuntu. All right. Come on. Did anyone find anything? Steven, do you want to do that research? Is Steven still here? Nope. Andre, I'll throw that at you then.
I don't think Andre is here.
I was focusing on something else.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing a different box, yeah.
All right. I've done my Ctrl F. It's not working. Ctrl F, Ctrl F, Ctrl F, Ctrl F.
What was that? That's always installed on Linux?
The generic. I have no idea why this isn't working. I want to find.
It's not installed by default.
Right. Okay. Function. View. Search. We're looking for dot. Come on, if I can type. Okay. Nothing interesting. So is there anything here? I kind of don't want to just take this its word for it. So let's see. Share 256. Is it just one? No, it's not. And
What are you trying to work out?
I'm trying to not take the iOS the name of the hash. I'm just making my life harder. Gispa, just in case you're not aware. So when I sub boxes, sometimes I kind of want to make my life a bit harder so I can learn something new intentionally.
Mm.
So rather than just taking its word for it for this IOC it's got in here, right? So it's saying the hash value is this. So the chat has a file hash of a file detected and quarantined on one of the executive Android phones. So what I'm looking for is this hash value inside of the file rather than going to go take the one. So it basically what it's asking me to do is just go to Malware Bazaar. That's pretty obvious. But in my stubborn head, I'm trying to find that information in here myself. Does that make
I
sense?
tried I tried grepping for just the first couple of digits of that hash.
Yeah, you could do
in the
that.
file.
Yeah. You didn't find it?
Yeah, it is in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing you could do as well. Oh, jeez. It's gonna be the wrong thing. Obviously copying
And
that
the
word.
reason why I did that is because it doesn't let you copy and paste a full hash across. So I just thought I'd grep like the first 6 digits.
Right, yeah. 646185. Let's do that then. Sure. Six four six one eight five. From that, and we have it here. So it's sms.spy payload, and this is the hash value here. And we can see that there is potentially a run errata, spyware. So we can see information already in here. We don't necessarily need to go look for it, but let's see. So is this file associated with malware? If so, what is the malware name? Let's actually go to Malware Bazaar. Browse database. What? Oh, hang on. Sorry, I need to specify syntax. My bad. Yep, I knew it. I forgot about that. There we go. So, well, I'm guessing it's probably going to be the IRATA that I saw in there.
Yeah, looks like it's IRATA.
Yeah, my sample was yeah. So I guess what I was trying to demonstrate is if you have a look here, that information already exists in here. So we didn't have to go to Malware Bazaar. So that's me trying to make my life a
What
bit
was the
harder.
information?
So you can see here it's IRATA's file.
Oh, but that's the thing is APK, IRAN, IRATA. So yeah, it's not as obvious in the
Oh well,
command line.
there's definitely way more question in there. Okay, I need to stop goofing around. Investigate the reference link from this 256. Hash value. Submit the threat name, acronym only, the C2 domain, IP address, and the domain register. All right. So signature, chat256, ISS. Time file APK. I'll go with the intelligence. I'm guessing this is the reference link. Yeah. So I can actually click on that in here. I don't want you going there directly. Fine. My laptop is already probably compromised. So malware alert, file type, threat name. Yep. And then remote access to Android. So that's what we need to do. So how does it want that answer? Submit the threat name, acronym only, the C2 domain, IP, and the domain registrar. Alright, so the C2 domain, and then the IP. Registrar is Freenom. Alright, so IRATA. C2 domain, IP, and then the domain registrar. I'm not sure if it wants this defunct to be there. We'll try. Yeah, it does. I'm guessing you're way ahead everyone else because I'm pretty slow.
Well, in the same boat, Sammy.
All right. Gisba, have you finished it already? Francis, are you still here? Abdallah, you guys doing this? You're falling asleep on your keyboard. When I was saying it, I probably should have not said that because people are taking it later.
No, I am following the
Alright.
with the Linux commands and all that. But I am following what you're doing.
Alright, so it says to visit this URL. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to. Gispa is frozen, literally frozen, gone. Alright, so metrics and understand the collection activities this file can take and what the potential impact is to the executive work, mobile phone. Submit the 5 techniques names in the alphabetical order. Technique 1, blah 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 blah. So malicious, yes. Now where's the meta tactic and technique? Signatures. Alright. So defense evasion. It doesn't want technique or tactic. Submit the 5 technique names in alphabetical order. Interesting. So in alphabetical order. So we've got. Are they sure they know what they're talking about? Do they mean tactic? Because there's definitely more than 5 in here. Someone might have technical. Submit the 5 technique names. All right, so let's find out. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, it can be that either. So this is good question. This is interesting. Interesting. In alphabetical order. This one's a bit annoying because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Where do you see all that, Sammy?
What?
Where do you see all those options? The MITRE ATT&CK matrix.
It's in just the sandbox. Just say sandbox.
Yeah, because I followed that link, but I don't.
You need to scroll all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I did, and nothing. Yeah. There's third-party analysis engines, virus total, and stuff. So.
You follow this link, the link that is here.
Yep.
Scroll all the way to the bottom of just Jose sandbox. So you see where I've got. Actually, not actually to the end, the middle. Oh, right. So it can be hidden as well. See?
No, because when I scroll down, I have a very small menu options, so I don't know.
It is an accordion, so FYI. So see that? So which means it'll open and close. Anyways, access contact list, access stored application data, system location. So I'm guessing access contact list is the first one from an alphabetical order point of view. This makes no sense.
Yeah, now it changes. It was a report actually.
After A, the next thing should be a B, and then if there's no B here, we could do a C. So capture SMS messages. So we've got to see what's the next thing. E is exploit well, tap in that. Oh, hang on, there's delete device here. Alright. That's 3. And then exploit.
I think this one is worded weirdly. I think it only wants the collection activities, collection techniques.
What? Oh, right. Okay. So no. Investigate the MITRE ATT&CK matrix to understand the collection activities. Like I always say, I'm still figuring out how this platform works. So if we're doing collection, so that's career billing data, access contact list, capture SMS file.
What is collection activities?
Well,
what is that?
It's the collection column.
Oh, right, in here, right. One of the
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
It's weird because they say collection activities instead of like collection tactics.
It's a tactic. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That someone is struggling with the actual proper, Anyways, well, that's why we have him, Kisva, to help make sense of things.
Lucky.
There needs to be a certificate for understanding the activities in the first place.
90% of the time, it's me not understanding what the question is, so I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to solve a problem, but me no get. Alright, so well now I think I've got more than 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it is 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Why is there no white space there? Something is not right there. Let's see if that works. No, of course. Do you want this to be together? No. So
Mine worked with commas and spaces. I think you've still got one from a different tab somewhere. But I think it's all the way to the right of your text box where you can't see it anymore.
I've got location tracking here. Did I miss something? Yeah.
It's the comma between capture SMS messages and network information discovery.
Shut. Anyways. Nah. So access contact list. So I'm guessing AC comes before AS. Collect.
You've put network before the location tracking. That's I think what
yeah, N before L.
Yeah.
Well, L before N. Well, who knew that I didn't know my alphabet? Don't tell anyone.
Didn't know it was on the assignment.
Jeez. Finally. A junior analyst was handling an event that involved outbound connection to a private address and didn't perform any further analysis on the IP address. What are the 2 ports used? I'm going to stop here. If you know how many times I've had an interview and asked people to do an analysis on something, that's how a lot of hiring managers don't ask you, open-ended questions. They'll show you something and ask you to analyze it. If you know how many times I've seen people not pick up basic things like an IP address. Wherever your eyes see an IP address going forward, guys, it should be ding ding alarm bells going up in your brain. I need to go and research that IP. Wherever you see an IP address, wherever you see a log message, time is important. Find the time the activity took place. IP addresses are important. Hash values are important. Never ever analyze something without looking at those things. They're called the 5 tuple. Well, it's actually more than 5 tuples. They're indicators. Always look for indicators. Because there is often something more. I'll show you an image. If I give you a hash value, it's just a hash value. It doesn't say it's malicious. But until you take that hash value and put it in malware bazaar, whatever it is, that's when it becomes something useful. That's the job of a cybersecurity analyst or engineer, is to find information that does not look obvious to everyone else. So if you go for an interview and someone gives you a picture or gives you a log message, and you're going, I'm trying to explain this. Don't explain in your own words. Just research it, unless they obviously don't let you to do research, on the spot. But if they're going to let you to use Google, you should be able to go and find that information. Once you see an IP address, that is the one thing you should be noticing. And the one thing, once you see an IP address, the one thing you want to spot is this a private IP address or a public IP address? If it's private, it's probably not malicious, unless it's pretty obvious in the log that someone is running something like nmap or whatever from that IP. Does everyone get this?
Yeah.
Because this is one that
Can you say the last part again? I didn't catch the last part about whether if it's private or public.
If it's a private IP address, or so when you see an IP, first of all, alarm bell should be going up in your brain. So, an IP address, something I can research, right? Now, you need to identify if it's a public IP address or a private IP address. If it's a public IP address, that means you can put it on VirusTotal or Malware Bazaar or just a sandbox. If it's a private IP, you cannot do much with it because it's a private IP address. The only thing then you need to be able to do is to build context around it. So what else is happening with that IP? So if you see a private IP address and you see something like Mimikatz, you know that that threat actor is obviously pivoting from that internal host. You see how I'm making a story out of this two information. You can even tell a full story. Oh, the threat actor was able to log on. Like if you even see IIS server in there, you actually be able to make a full story. So the threat actor was able to log in by maybe exploiting a publicly exposed vulnerability, and was able to then, from the web server IP host, um, start doing some network enumeration or scanning to identify other hosts that are on the network and vulnerabilities, so they can pivot and laterally move across the network. Like literally, with that information, those two information, you can make up so much information, so much other scenario of what might be going on. All right, so a junior analyst was handling an event that involved outbound connection to a private address and didn't perform any further analysis on the IP. What are the two ports used by the? Again, it's actually funny that's what they're talking about. They're talking about a private IP address here, right? So in this case, we would probably look for. Hang on. Used by the IP address. All right. So let's find out. Use another grep command. Grep the IP. Oh, it doesn't let you paste. No, it doesn't. So we'll have to do that again.
You can actually do it if you put into the clipboard, in the clipboard tab on top. Just paste it there, and it should be all right.
There you go. Thanks so much. And we're looking for it on every single file. The CSV. So the port number is 1505. Alex, why do I know that this is a port number?
Because there's a semicolon between the IP address and the number afterwards.
Yeah, that's a column, not a semi-one.
Column, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Good catch. All right. So the first port number is this. Oh, jeez. 1505 and 1506. 1505. 1506. Use the reference to help you further research the IP address. What does it say to domain? All right.
Reference.
So this is the reference it's talking about. Copy link.
It's the other one that had the port.
Oh, hang on. Let me something.
Yeah, you just went on the
two of them.
I copied the wrong one. Right. Attention to detail, huh? Let's say. So is it asking for the IP address or is it happy with just domain name? It wants domain name. Top level domain name. Does it not want it to be defined? Use the reference to help you further research the IP. So this question is annoying. Are you kidding me? It just needed me to take out the square brackets. That's all. Even the question makes no sense. But anyways, there we are. We're going forward. How many questions do we have left? Jeez, what time is it? 11:30. What is the likely delivery method into our organization? Provide the technique name and technique ID for. Did I just close that? I did. Um, so delivery is network, system network discovery. It's not delivery. Impact. Initial access. Nothing here about initial access. Initial access. Because it didn't tell me that, I could probably make it up. So initial access is probably no, it's not, doesn't make sense. Is a likely method. I'll probably say it's this. SMS. Yeah, I think it's probably SMS. Alright, so let's do this. Might attack for SMS messages. Technique phishing. It's probably phishing, but hang on. Does this thing have smishing?
1660. In the first one, no phishing technique, mobile.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Mm-hmm.
T1660. Investigate further.
Because I think it's.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I was just saying that smishing is just, I think, a subset of phishing.
It
So
is.
I think that's why they put in phishing. So it's overall it's phishing just over SMS.
Yeah, yes, it is, but sometimes it's annoying because smishing should technically be a subset of social engineering.
Hmm.
Right. But anyways, investigate further and try to find name of the weaponized Word document so we can use idiot to check if it's present. But I think we already found the Word document, right? When we were looking at the Veristoda. Do you guys remember that? Let's see. Veristoda. This is gonna be funny if this is the answer. I doubt it. Nah.
That would be too easy, right?
That would be very annoying. I'll personally get upset. All right, close that then. So investigate further. All right. So let's see. Where is? Oh, it kind of hides all that information. That's all right. Let's go back to. Uh-oh. Let's go back to that domain. And then go to virus total to put it. See if we can find anything else. Remember to defang. Oh, sorry, fang. So is there a file here that I can see? No, I don't want to log on.
Login, yeah.
Details. Quickly, what we can do is probably just look at this file in general to see if there is a docs file. Nothing.
Maybe dot doc x, not just dot x. Same outcome.
Okay, let's see. Uh-oh. This is gonna take me to an actual URL that has malware in it. Nothing. Was it Frey or free? Good point. So what I'm trying to do is to see if there's any information that I can pivot off, because we did a look at the domain name, but it did not use yield any useful result. And I did a search to see if I can find, pardon me, if I can find any .docs file inside of the information. Lucky and unlucky. That's weird. Bit.ch password stealer. Fred.php. Alright, so what if I go here and see if this domain is still alive in general? I guess, but have you used BrowserLink before?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Am I muted?
No, you're not. We can hear you.
I can see.
Okay.
Sorry, hear you. Yeah.
Alright, so the next thing I'll probably do is to go back a little bit and look at this. Tweet that post again. And then look at the payload at MyWebBazaar. And see if we can find any associated files. I don't want to download sample, thank you. There's not docs file. What about just box? Serial number, intelligence. IOCs.
Any file information?
That's that one that we had a look at. So it just takes you to that Twitter page that we just looked at.
Brings it back. Yeah.
Yeah. That's alright. Well, there's an IP address here there. It's good. There's also an abuse. The CH file.
Same one.
Yeah, the same one. So I think that IP address is probably something that we can pivot off. So
Try finding an IP address and Vic roads.
well, it says the IP address belongs to Microsoft. Well, there's multiple files here. There's foxy.docs.
Oh, maybe Foxy. Yeah, Foxy docx.
Did that work?
Foxy x. No, didn't work. Just Foxy.
haven't used any of my quota today. How can I exceed it? Okay, we started.
Am I wrong in thinking that we should be searching on the box for this file somewhere?
You mean the files themselves in here?
Yeah, like should it be in like I know there's the Ubuntu folder,
Well, we haven't tried the Ubuntu folder. That's a good point.
but I couldn't see anything there. Like I ls-tac-a and nothing was docx.
There's an SSH folder in here. So that's just an authorized key. Yeah, I think this one is probably something that we need to just do some research on. So investigate further and try to find the name of the weaponized Word document. Let's try it. Go back to that initial one. Alex, did you actually try the docs properly?
Yep.
Alright.
Oh.
So looking at that initial file, and I put that text. Where is it? I put that text. What are the chances if someone actually deleted this? One thing we can technically do is to follow one of these chains to referral files. What are the referral files? Yeah, those are the ones we just looked at. What is it? The docs, relations. Oh, wow. Can unload my graph. Thank you very much, Aristotle. just wanted to follow one of those URLs.
I don't understand where the Word document would be coming from because it was delivered via SMS.
Yeah. I guess someone made this up. If you notice, we're basically following someone made up box. C2 the hide server seems to be a couple strike over on by Securai.io trackers. Then hesitate to get more Z2s by searching couple strike on VT. Alright. Unpacked. Submit.php. 163. Japan couple strike preview. I'm just seeing that one in here for the first time. Maybe is this a different one? It's this one. Nothing of real interest. All right, for the sake of time, we are going to just do this. Where did I find that? The web result. Was that on track? Was that here? I think that one must have been. No, it's not here. The Google result. That's what I'm looking for. Adversaries does that sometimes. But not this time around.
Interesting. So it's actually on a Malware Bazaar page from one of our previous questions.
Well, this is the malware bazaar page. I'm looking at it. I've still got it open here. Oh, hang on, suspicious files. I've never used this before. Windows 32. Is it still loading? Jeez. Interesting. I've already checked this place, so yeah, I think we might just need to look at a walkthrough, just because we don't have all night.
Yeah. So in the walkthrough, it says that the guy used a resource from one of the previous questions on malware and found the question answer on the Malware Bazaar.
Not there. Well, we've come through malware bazaar multiple times, and Intelligence.
Yeah, guys, I think the key word here is the previous questions.
Well, I've gone back, looked at all the previous questions. I used the domain, and also I also used the, what is it? I also used the hash value, and also used the IP address. So I've looked at all of those. I'm sure there's something I'm missing.
There's a walkthrough that has Joe's sandbox answer, but I don't know how they got to where they got to in Joe's sandbox.
That's a really good point you raised. So don't copy a solution from someone without knowing how to get to it. So I've just taken the hash value from here just to see if I'll find anything. Relations.
The hash value that starts with 03265B, etc.
Far out. Because it's the same hash. It's never seen. It's archive. Zip.
Wait.
Is there a way to use the domain?
So this guy has a lot of good information in here.
I think we have to go back to the first tweet.
The first tweet. That was the tweet that had the domain name and the IP address from the .docs, .gif. That was where we found the first tweet. So this was where.
Oh, it was the .gif. Okay.
My bad. That's 500 different things. So, what was that IP address again? Everything. CSV.
I just can't remember how I got that first tweet.
It was from here. I just need to go back. Give me a second. CD dot dot. CD dot dot. CD dot dot. That was from here.
Guys, I'm gonna tap out here.
Oh, good buddy.
I've learned some few interesting things just listening to you guys. Picking. And see you in the next one.
I will see you in the next one, right? I'm sure you're
See
gonna
you,
Bye,
smash.
Andrew.
guys.
I'm sure you're gonna smash something really cool. Oh, see you, mate. Cheers.
Yeah.
Guess what? I just realized it was from the hash value. So we did a grab
Yeah.
for the first few in numbers in the hash value. If you remember.
Yeah, I tried searching that and I didn't get a Twitter link.
There's a Twitter link there. Let me see. And then give me everything.csv. I'm pretty sure we saw a Twitter link somewhere.
I think it was something else we searched that had it. I just can't remember what we searched.
Hmm. Wasn't it from here?
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't find anything else here. So we've looked
Maybe
at this
it's
multiple times now. Oh, wait, there's a different domain that I see here. That's different from the one we had seen before. I see a different domain. I see a different domain. Yep, that domain relation. Communicating file. This is not going to let me actually just do my thing.
I mean, because if you look at the answer, at the file name, it's actually in Turkish or has Turkish characters in it. Most likely that Because I think we saw some domains that were .tk. I don't know if that's going to be of any help, but
I've already had a look at that domain. Relations. So none of the work through actually had sensible work, information about how to actually find the answer. I'm just gonna go ahead and stop recording because Nathan is going to hate me when he tries to video edit this later. Alright. Thanks everyone who's gonna be watching this later. Hope you have fun. And it's another Nerd Night. See ya. Bye.